Hi everybody, we're back with our third and final adventure of the evening, one that I like this title, Gears of Wood. But before we get into it, we are going to, as always, meet our adventurers. We got a Fable tier crew coming out tonight. I'm excited to see all of the veterans back at it. So we have, without further ado, first up, the Silver-Tongued. We have Ideal returning once more. Ideal, what's going on?
Oh, not much. There was a bit of difficulty earlier, but it's been dealt with.
What was the nature of the difficulty, if you don't mind my question?
It's nothing to worry about.
Okay, wasn't perhaps that Discord Lord of Chaos had casted some kind of terrible spell of silence upon you?
Yes, he's been causing quite a bit of trouble in my home kingdom.
I mean, Discord is wont to wreak destruction where'er he appears. So
yes, but he seems to have a particular taken a particular liking to causing chaos
in your neck of the woods. Well, you know, what are you going to do about it? I mean, even gods Pete and Jeremy are not, immune to his power. Even the other gods bow to his whim. So, what are you going to do? But what else? What's going good in Ideal's life? What's new? Anything new? I know you're always kind of working the political scene of Central City and around the land of DnDTime. Any new gains? Any new connections that you've made?
No, this past week I've been mostly dealing with that evil god Discord. He tends to take up a lot of your time.
Yeah, I relate very much. All right, well, Ideal, it's good to have you back. Wonderful. Next we have returning Euchaunkas Ouwoupli. Who would have ever thought a day would come where I would be able to say the name of the High Priest correctly? But here we are. Euchaunkas, welcome.
Hello.
Euchaunkas, it's been a while since we've seen you. What have you been up to?
More of the same, religious ceremonies, a lot of marriages this time of year. Weather's getting warmer.
That season. Do you officiate mostly marriages between fellow lizard folk, or do you kind of do you spread out? Is it just anyone who is a believer in the cloud you officiate?
Anyone that's a believer in the cloud.
Mm-hmm. Have you made any inroads with the? I know there's a pretty big faction of cloud worshippers up in the actual clouds. There's the Sky Dwarves. Do you get along well with them, or?
Never met them.
Fair enough.
Never met them. I've really never met any of the them. I've never met the heretics. Never. I've heard their names. I know there's one called Gummy, and Mama something, and Papa something. Never met any of them though.
Well, I hope that one day you get a chance.
Never been to the Candy Rock Mountain.
I mean, I feel like that's a conscious choice on your part, more than it is a coincidence.
Well, no, I'd like to scope out the enemy more, but Bartholomew never sends me to the mountains.
Wise. I would love to, personally, I would love to see that someday, and hopefully it can happen. But Euchaunkas, welcome back, the one and only, the High Priest. Next up, we have Nijel Astrada, the Dread Emperor. Nijel, how goes your campaign to establish your empire?
It is an ongoing one, indeed. It is. Currently, my aspirations have been, still fixed on that one point. I've been attempting to recreate these effigies, but I seem to lack a deal of dexterity. Apparently, the rumors are not true. Folding 1,000 paper cranes just gets really tedious.
I was going to say it was some pretty intricate paper mache work, if I remember correctly.
Wait, it was paper mache, not origami?
I thought it was paper mache, but maybe I'm mistaken. I think the Dread Emperor would know better than lowly me.
I'm going to burn all of those swans when I get home.
Additionally, I imagine constructing those kind of like the eye stalks out of the paper mache must be in particularly difficult.
I can only imagine. If only they had a wire frame, but I feel like that would be betraying it.
I guess that's the secret. Maybe you'll have to go down and speak to some of those mole people and figure out how they did it. If there's any left, that is.
Yeah, that seems unlikely. I remember it being quite bright and clear last time I was there.
Well, Nijel, I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors in that regard. And also, as always, it's good to have you back.
It is good to be here.
And last but not least, we have Lorquin, the Unkillable. Lorquin, rumors around the adventurer's stable is that you are about to acquire yourself a new weapon.
Yes, hopefully I will be able to acquire it. It may help me in my quest.
I think it absolutely will help you in your quests, of course. I'm referring to the enchanting your mighty katana with a flame and tongue enchantment. Do you have any thoughts for names for your katana? I feel like at that point it becomes a named weapon. I don't know if you have considered that to any degree.
I've had a few names. I can think of a few.
Anything you're willing to share, or are they all still kind of in workshop? You're waiting for an unveiling, perhaps?
Yeah, they're still getting worked on.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it once it's done. Of course, you do have to complete today's adventure in order to do so. So let's start diving into it. As I mentioned, this adventure is entitled Gears of Wood, and Bartholomew has sent all of you to the Sacred Vale. The Sacred Vale, of course, is a part of the world where many of the lesser gods and kind of demigods of the world live, those who haven't accrued enough power to take up residence in say, your Valhalla or your Mount Olympus or your Mount Celestia is what I meant to say the first time, getting my mythology mixed up. My apologies. That is where we begin, is walking through a forest around kind of one of the higher points on the valley of the Sacred Vale. And you've been sent to a village of sort of these tree folk, referred to as lumberlings. A lot of very natural entities take up residence in the Sacred Vale, as there are many deities that protect these kind of groves. And in particular, these lumberlings' personal deity is a very, very ancient tree that a lumberling that once took root many, many aeons ago and has been their guardian within the Sacred Vale, who they turn to for wisdom and advice for generations, for aeons. And this tree has grown massive and huge, but now the lumberlings, according to Bartholomew, have come across a pretty terrifying threat. Some kind of unstoppable wood chopping machine that's just been slowly working their way in their direction. They've tried to, and that's about it. That's about as far as Bartholomew told you about this. So where we begin, you find yourself kind of approaching this lumberling village. In the distance, you can see humanoids. They're walking around, but their skin is like bark. Occasionally, one of them will kind of stop and let its legs stretch out and roots kind of grow into the ground as it appears next to another one, and they begin to kind of converse. They don't have buildings per se, but they do have kind of little open sections where there are things like food, and a lot of them are just, like I said, just kind of rooting and sunning. It seems a pleasant community, but they're all also seem a little bit nervous. And that's the scene as you all kind of approach this group.
Hello, tree people.
One of them, who's just kind of near you, kind of looks around, and he just goes, "You mean me?" And he kind of points at himself with these long, kind of stick-like fingers.
Sure. We're here to. We were sent by Bartholomew to deal with, I don't know, some machine that's chopping you down.
Oh, you're talking about the lumberjack.
Cloud, save me.
Yes, that has been troubling.
I see. Is there anyone we should talk to specifically about it?
Oh, yeah, there probably is. I can bring you to them?
That
Yeah.
would be great.
Okay. And you see his kind of mouth kind of slowly turns upwards in a grin. And he kind of uproots from the ground from where he was. You see the roots kind of pull in and kind of coil up around, leaving just kind of these four-toed feet with, again, kind of twigs and branches going up. Hungry? And he kind of holds out his hand, and you watch as, like, kind of some flowers kind of sprout from the end of his fingertips, these bright pink flowers, and then quickly out of them, some, like, cherries bloom on his fingers, and he holds it out to you.
No.
He looks towards the rest of you. Hungry?
No, thank you.
Nijel is just looking on with one eyebrow arched.
Okay. And he kind of plucks them off and just kind of tosses them on the ground. You watch as kind of a few birds kind of go over and start kind of eating them. He goes, this way. And he starts walking across at kind of a snail's pace, just very leisurely, and guides you kind of through the village. A lot of people kind of nod, and there's kind of a lot of bowing that they do. Some of them kind of wave their branches at you. As you move your way through the village, eventually you get to kind of a section that it's cordoned off with what appears to be fencing made from, like, kind of small saplings and vines that are kind of curled around. And there is just a grove of a large variety of different trees. There are fruit trees, there are oaks. There are all manner of just different breeds that you wouldn't expect to see in such close proximity in a forest like this. And he goes, this is our grove of the ancients. The Elder One will talk to you.
Excellent.
Just a few more steps. And we're here. He says. It was he was kind of like in the process of walking. He like anticipated that he was going to get there and started his sentence. And you are now at like a very, very huge tree, which rests in the kind of center of this grove. And he goes, he just kind of puts his hand out onto the tree, this one lumberling, and says, "Do this."
Are we talking to this tree now?
He kind of nods slowly.
Hello, bigger tree.
This one is just like a tree. It's not like a tree person.
Hello, actual tree.
Do you put your hand on it?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear in your mind, "Oh, hello there."
Oh, thank the cloud, you
He goes, "Oh, the sapling there's a little bit on the slow side, if you understand. We're not all, well, not everyone talks at the same pace." So, well, what brings you to our grove? Not to chop it down, I hope.
Not today.
That seems to be the case lately. Some great mechanical beast approaches. No mercy for the forest.
Did you say no mercy or no mercy?
I said no mercy, but no mercy would have been greatly preferable. Gnomes are merciful beings.
I see.
Are there any gnomes in this forest for it to show mercy to, though?
No, and it is most certainly not a gnome that will show mercy to us. We have tried to reason with it. It is single-minded in its determination to chop down the wood of this forest, and it is headed straight in our direction, as this is one of the denser parts. I imagine he kind of... You see the leaves kind of like part. It almost seems like he's like looking up at the sun, in a sense, and he just goes, I imagine he'll be here in an hour. If you could intercept him, we could, well, we have an arrangement with Bartholomew, and he will give you a paper that signifies appreciation.
What are your feelings on paper?
We are against it, but Bartholomew conjures it, so it is not taken from trees, so his is fine.
Makes sense. All right. I guess, what can you tell us about this machine?
I have not seen it. I've been here. But you could probably tell them a bit more about it. I believe you were one of the ones that had seen it. And he points back to the really slow-talking lumberling.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
And he goes, and he goes, yeah, I can tell you quite a tale if you'd like. And he kind of
You said this
smiles
was one of the lumberlings that's seen it. Where's the others?
Indeed, if
at
he
you. They're all over the place. And you see him kind of get a little bit crestfallen. You don't want to speak to me?
There's no offense to you. It's we're in a bit of a hurry. We obviously want to stop this machine before it gets here.
He nods. Good idea. Still looks a bit crestfallen, but he understands. So do you want to go speak with another? Want to go speak with another one of the lumberlings before you head in that direction?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You find one. This one seems to be more of like an elm that looks over to you. Ah, hello.
Elms talk more quickly. Excellent. Tell us about the machine.
We're actually known to be among the fastest talkers of all the lumberlings. That's a fun fact about the elm lumberlings. What machine are you? Oh, the giant death machine that's coming towards our sacred grove?
Yeah, that one.
I wasn't one of the ones that went out and saw it, but from what I heard, apparently they went up to it, and it was just sort of a big bipedal metal man. And it walked around singing and chopping down trees with no mercy. I guess a lot of people vomited. It was really a grisly sight. He had a giant axe. He swung it around, clefted entire trees down in a single blow. And then, like, other robots came, and is that the term you use?
Robot would be correct. Was one of them a giant ox?
No.
Good.
I guess just lots of little ones.
And what did they do?
They cleaned up the trees and cut off their limbs. As I said, it was very grisly. I have no desire to have seen it. Even hearing about it, I could barely handle it.
All right then. Hey, what god do you trees worship?
And she points over at that really big tree.
Oh, damn it. All right, one moment. I walk over to the big tree. Hey, what god do you worship?
I do not worship a god. I am a god.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, here's a pamphlet about the cloud, and I walk away.
He kind of, as you're walking away, he's a tree and he can't get you, but you hear, you've only been able to speak to him with your hand on it, but you hear the voice start to like boom out from the ground. Get your paper away from me! Hey, you walking away! And you just walk away?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you all just head off towards the direction that they indicated?
Mm-hmm.
Lance will ask our new tree, or not Lance, excuse me, Nijel, to our new tree god, and so we are to have this not come and destroy this clearing, whimsical little grove, but it, as you said, does not seem to be the type to stop. Is there another grove we could send it towards instead?
It is possible, but to condemn another grove to fall so that we may survive, I cannot support that in entirety. If you do it, I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to know about it.
That's fair enough. We will stop this. You have my word, it will be destroyed. And Nijel will give a wink as he turns around.
All right. And you guys begin kind of working your way down that direction. And you can... It's not very difficult to find the thing that you're looking for. As you kind of crest a hill, you can see in the distance just a swath of tree trunks in just a very wide area. It seems like this thing's been getting closer and closer for some time, and they've just now kind of decided to finally take action at this the kind of critical moment. Because it got too bad. But yeah, there's just a huge chunk of forest behind this point where it's just tree stumps. And at the kind of front of that point, you cannot see the figure, but you can see a little bit of steam that seems to be rising up, and occasionally you'll hear the sound of a tree kind of crashing and falling, and you see different tree chops at a pretty brisk pace, just kind of coming down in the area.
You think this is like a bunch of trees' legs, or like a graveyard and stumps are tombstones?
Maybe it's like a graveyard, but, for example, they have the bony claw sticking out to symbolize those who died.
Weird.
The tree
Maybe
people,
it's
what
both.
would you expect?
So how are you approaching? Are you trying to like stealth up, or are you what's your play? You're just gonna walk in and go and like see this thing, or?
I'm terrible at stealth.
I mean, I can
Yes.
try and stealth, but
Oh, you don't have to. I'm
Feeling-
just wondering what your strategy is.
Let's just go talk to the robot.
yeah.
All right. What's Ideal up to at this point?
He's thinking
Okay.
they should just go talk to the robots, considering none of them are actually good at stealth.
Okay. So yeah, you guys just kind of start working your way up, and you can hear the robot before you get to him. And as you kind of get closer, in the distance, you can kind of hear some faint like humming and singing. And the closer and closer you get, that saying kind of becomes louder, and it seems to be accompanied by strange music, kind of like the buzzing and whirring of gears making counter harmonies to what is a very huge voice that's just kind of booming out, just ho ho ho, we work all day, ho ho ho, our work is play, ho ho ho, and if you would fall, Mr. Tree, and become wood. And with that, a big axe swing kind of flies out and just takes down another tree, which collapses, and in rhythm, he's just kind of going through and just tree fell, and you can see now this giant kind of golden skinned robot, but he also appears to be wearing, he's painted to look like he's wearing kind of like a flannel shirt, and he has an actual massive stocking hat on his head, and he's wielding a pretty traditional looking lumberjack's axe as he moves through. You watch as he's just kind of working along. He takes one tree, it cuts through with the axe in a full swing. This thing is very tall and huge in size as well. With his other hands, he just reaches out and grabs the tree, pulls the thing off the ground, takes the top off with a swing, and then drops it to the ground beside him. And then you watch out of like sockets on his arms, a bunch of like little tiny golden robots run out and cut off all the smaller branches. And then he picks it up and puts it into a bag, and it just seems to disappear within the bag. The bag's kind of like in a backpack on his back. And he's just moving through, plowing and cleaning logs at an incredibly efficient pace. Just singing the whole time, just ho ha ha hee hee ho ha ho hee ho hee.
Right, this thing needs to die. That song is annoying.
Robot!
Yeah, you.
Ho ho ho! Whoa! Who's there? Ho ho ho! And as he's saying that, another tree. Good afternoon to you.
And you as well.
Thank you.
Sorry to put you on the spot here, but we've got to ask, do you have a logging permit out here? We've received a few complaints.
No, tree.
You're part of an illegal logging operation.
Indeed, we're gonna have to ask you to take your logging to a 90-degree angle to the left.
I'm afraid if you're worried about the legality of our operations, you'll have to speak to my boss.
Who's that?
Primus.
Who's Primus?
Primus the
Isn't that a brand of stopwatch?
mechanical god thing.
It might be. He takes down another tree, snaps it in half. Another one, you watch as he sees one that's kind of like far away that he can't get to, and his hand shoots out and his just wrist disconnects and flies about 40 feet over, grabs the tree, lifts it out of the ground, and then two spell axe sweeps, taking off the roots and the top, and then another one down.
Why is Primus having you take out these trees?
Collecting wood.
For what?
For what purpose?
Not for me to know.
Okay.
Shouldn't we go meet with this Primus? I can't imagine he would want any tarnish on these woods. Unlawful harvest.
Go ahead and make me a religion check to see if you know anything about Primus.
Yeah, solid.
Oh god.
It is the name of stopwatch. I knew it.
Yeah, it's a stopwatch brand, so he's just making shit up. Yeah, ideal. You're pretty sure, also pretty sure. When he said stopwatch brand, you were like, oh yeah, that was what it was. Lorquin, you're kind of on the same page. Euchaunkas, you are pretty certain it's not a stopwatch brand. You think it's a god somewhere in Mechanus, but you're not sure.
Yeah, isn't Primus the mechanist god?
Yes, Primus is our overlord. He gives us directions, and we follow them.
I think you're
Trees.
making it up.
Why would a god be named after a stopwatch?
I'm not.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't it more likely be the reverse, that the stopwatch is named after the god?
If it were that case, everyone would know about the god, not the stopwatch.
That's a good
He has a
point.
point, you know.
That is fair.
It's very good. Yeah,
Ah.
he's just moving along.
Excuse me, sir. You can't continue.
Your mic cut out at the end. I heard you can't continue, and then that was it. Say it again.
Yeah, you can't continue to collect wood in that direction.
I'm afraid that's where the thickest groves are, and that's the most efficient path.
Those groves are protected by another deity. The Great Deku Tree.
Oh, very good. In that case, please have the Great Deku Tree contact Primus, and then once I receive orders from him, I'll stop. Tree.
But you don't. Somebody help.
What's your name, robot?
I was not given a name. I am simply a Kontarla drone. They've called me here, though, the Lumberjerk.
I'm gonna call you Paul.
That works.
Alright, Paul. If you don't stop, we're going to have to, kill you.
Not advised.
Well,
Listen, Paul,
we might not
you don't want
have
to.
a choice.
You really don't want to mess with a tree god.
Let's
They
be
will
honest.
mess you up.
Indeed, he will turn you into a Primus stopwatch.
I don't know. This
I'm
guy
not-
seems pretty good against trees.
Are any of us trees, though?
Oh no, we can kick his ass, but I'm just saying
yeah.
the tree
Probably
probably
deal
couldn't.
with it for the tree, for the Great Tree.
I was made for one in particular purpose. It's what I'm best at.
So you're not very good at fighting, then, are you?
He goes, I don't know. Good is arbitrary.
Well then, it's. I guess the only way we are able to stop you is through force.
And shouldn't we test that?
Not advised.
You wouldn't want Primus to have sent a faulty construct down here. If you
He
can't
did.
handle
I am
self-defense,
perfect in my design.
well, can you prove
Well,
it?
how would you know
Well-
you're perfect if you've never tested it out?
Because I was built by Primus.
What
But how
Primus
many
made a
different-
mistake.
Robots has Primus made?
Now, Euchaunkas, you are starting to recognize the rhetoric of fanaticism.
I can see circular logic.
Yes,
I'm very familiar with it.
yes.
This guy's a crazy zealot. We should kill him. I don't like zealots.
How can someone be so fanatical about stopwatches? Should we just end this here?
Yeah, I think we should just deal with this.
I don't know if we should kill him as much
we
as
don't
just
have a choice. We might
incapacitate
have a
him.
choice here. I mean, it's either kill him or let him kill the trees.
We could
If we
just...
take out his legs, then he can't really go anywhere.
I mean, he could pull himself with his arms. We just saw him shoot one of his hands across the field.
Can take his arms off as well.
We could.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a robot. Is it even killing? It's disassembly.
No. Yeah.
Well,
fair.
how about this? We shut it down temporarily, and then
I
figure
have
out
been
what to do
listening
with
to
it.
your conversation. I am choosing to interpret the words that you're saying as hostile action. Continued hostile action will cause me to treat you as wood.
Oh,
But how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck had an axe as big as that?
30 yards.
That seems a little under-optimistic, don't you think? One might even say pessimistic.
I feel like a woodchuck would have difficulty lifting an axe that size.
Exactly.
I'm certain the answer is 30 yards.
How can you be
Can-
certain of that?
Primus.
Does
How is he,
Primus
sir?
have these woodchucks?
At that, he just kind of, he just laughs. I've recognized what you've said as a joke.
What does Primus know of woodchucks?
Oh,
He knows all about woodchucks.
If woodchucks could be so efficient with wood, though, why did he send you and not these woodchucks?
oh, I am significantly more efficient than woodchucks. Since we've been talking, I've cut 173 yards.
Yes, but woodchucks are much smaller and
I have
easier.
another question that might seem unrelated. But you say Primus made you perfect, so that means you don't have any weaknesses.
Wait. Okay, he's following. Yeah, yes.
There's nothing that that you are potentially weak.
Not all things are invincible.
So, which means you must have a weakness, which means you're not perfect.
I am perfect for the function that I was made for.
Oh, so what sort of weaknesses do you have?
None that I am aware of. I suppose if you hit me with an axe such as mine, I think I could cut myself in half if I wanted to, but I don't.
Really? Using your axe can cut you in half? I don't believe it.
With the force of my own arm, yes.
I still don't believe it.
Very well.
Prove
Chop.
it.
Chop.
Can we make this guy
Make-
think he's wood?
I
Ma-
require
make a
proof.
make a persuasion check.
Alright.
He goes, very well. I would be happy to demonstrate Primus's perfection of design. Once I have completed my primary task, I will ask for reassignment.
To chop yourself in half.
Yes.
That's gonna take too long.
Wouldn't it be quicker to chop yourself in half first and then finish chopping the rest of the forest?
Yes, it would. Unfortunately, that was not my directive from Primus.
I think it would be better to simply attack. Don't you think? I mean, I don't think there's going to be any other way to stop them other than force.
Continued hostile action has been engaged. You are now considered wood. I would like you to roll for initiative.
Good start.
Keeping it solid.
All right. He's also got a roll for initiative. And as he says that, you can kind of hear some kind of steam kind of pour out of his sides. And a lot of those like smaller robots that were kind of running around him, cleaning up the wood, scrambled up and just kind of like disappear inside of his body. And he's going to roll initiative. Ideal. Take it away.
Alright. I'm going to use my Ring of Dumb Elementals to create a Witch Bolt Elemental.
Very well. And then I assume you are going to... What level? Oh, it's your...
Oh, it's...
Wait, yeah.
Well, because I'm a warlock, it's going to be a level 3.
Yeah, I realized that after I said it. Very well. Go ahead and... Ring of creating dumb elementals. Roll the check to command.
I believe it was... No, what?
Yeah, just if you, for one thing, if you click it on the front of your character sheet, it should cast it right.
Okay, yeah, I just trying to remember what it was I was rolling at.
Which bolt?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Spellcasting.
Yeah, it's under attacks and spellcasting. It'll be at the bottom there. Do you see it? It's under attacks and spellcasting. It's the last thing in line at the center of your character sheet on the front page.
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll it up. There it is. That was just 1d. That was just 1d12. So go ahead and also roll. Go ahead and also just roll / roll 2d12 for me. There it is. There it is.
No, I was using it to beat an elemental.
Yes, I know, but that's how much damage the elemental will do. And now I need you to roll to try and command the elemental.
Okay, and that's just a straight check, or?
Yep, that's just a spellcasting check. I believe the DC is based on the elemental's level, which is a 3rd level thing. So just roll me a charisma check. Okay.
That fails.
You create a Witch Bolt elemental. The nice thing is that you are no longer concentrating on Witch Bolt because the elemental is just doing its own thing. The problem is that now the Witch Bolt elemental is going to do whatever it feels like, so it's just going to Witch Bolt something at random. Which a 5 will be the foe that you wish to target. But instead, in order, that means that elemental is actually targeting Euchaunkas. Euchaunkas does a 13 hit. Does a 13 hit?
No.
All right, yeah, you watch as the Witch Bolt elemental, you watch from Ideal's ring, just this lightning elemental appears, kind of purple and blue crackling lightning. It just is kind of like arcing around chaotically, and one of those bolts flies over and goes to connect onto you. So it misses, but you now have the elemental, so you can do an extra concentration too on Witch Bolt, which would be cool. And so that's your action. Bonus action, do you want to move?
Nah.
Very well. In that case, that is going to bring us next in initiative to Lorquin. Lorquin, what do you do?
How far away is this thing's head from me?
High up, it's about 18 feet tall.
Right, I'm just going to shoot 2 light crossbow bolts at its eyes.
All right, go ahead and make me a couple attack rolls. 16 hits. And 16 hits. Roll damage. The 2 bolts kind of fly up and ding, ding. They kind of hit him right, kind of about the head. His head kind of turns aside. It's not quite a strike on the eyes, but as you shoot him, just each time he gets hit, he just goes ow, ow, in the exact same tone, and you see him kind of. You see him kind of spin his axe in his hand a couple times, and then lower it 2-handed over his head. Oh, sorry, is there anything else on your turn? I forgot you're a fighter. You got tons of stuff you can do.
Yes, I'm just going to move away from him.
Okay, you're just going to run away?
Yes, basically.
All right. How far away from him do you want to be?
As far away as I possibly can, so 30 feet.
Okay. Ending your turn within 30 feet of him, actually, he looks over at you. You see him turn in your direction as it passes now to his turn. Come back, wood. And does a 25 hit?
Yes.
Yeah. You take 16 points of bludgeoning damage as his right hand shoots out and grabs onto you and then pulls you back in. you are now grappled and within melee of him. With his other hand, he takes a couple of steps over and raises his axe overhead and is going to swing down at you, Euchaunkas. 21?
Oh, hey, what the? Yep.
For 26 points of slashing damage
Ow.
as the axe cuts down.
Oh.
And that's all for his turn.
Maybe fighting this thing was a mistake.
He's a tough guy. That's going to now bring us to Euchaunkas. What do you wish to do?
So he's tall.
Yep.
Great. I'm gonna shatter his head.
Oh shit! He has disadvantage, right?
Yeah, at level 3 spell.
All right.
Please blind
that's-
them.
Wow. 20. Yeah, it's some good rolls. He's not even that good at that. Like, pretty good, but... All right, so he takes half of that. So 7 points of damage. You shatter his head, and you watch as kind of the shoulder and the body, like different like panels and stuff, kind of bend and creak, and you see like a bunch of kind of steam pours out from within, and you watch as inside. You can actually see a lot of those like smaller robots are kind of like scurrying around. You watch as within, one of them just kind of gets thrown out of the inside of the body, and then crashes to the ground and just disintegrates. As it was clearly junked by that shatter on the inside of his body even. Anything else on your turn, Euchaunkas?
Nope.
That is going to bring us to Nijel.
Okay. Nijel is going to... I have little else to do. I can only imagine this is not the type of boy that gets scared, so Nijel will run up and just begin trying to sever his left leg, shall we say, starting off with that sweet, sweet bonus action. If I can find it. Where is it? There it is. Oh man, that is bad.
10 unfortunately misses.
And then I will just try to saw it off with my scythe. Wow, that is still bad.
The 19 hits. For 8. Are you going to...
Not just yet.
Okay. All right. In that case, that's going to bring us back around to the top of the initiative as you leave another pretty big dent. You kind of catch him about the legs, and some of the leg kind of breaks. And he starts to kind of shamble a bit. Ideal.
Can I use a bonus action to try and control the elemental?
Yep, you can just do that every turn if you want.
All right.
Yeah, you succeed. What are you told to do?
I am going to command it to attack the lumberjack's arm holding the axe.
All right. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with the witch bolt. Or actually, I will do it since I now control. This guy, and we will do that like that. Excellent. So 10 plus additional 2d12. Oh man, massive damage. 31 points of damage on this witch bolt. Actually, that should be 7 less because I don't think does it add? What is the +4/+3 from? That's being added to the damage on this witch bolt.
Oh, that's from spellcasting ability.
Oh, that should only be +4, right? Because of the charisma, not the extra +3 for the proficiency bonus.
No, the proficiency bonus is you're considered proficient in your spells.
Yeah, but that's not added to damage.
Your proficiency bonus is added to your spells.
It
automatically does that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm looking at the.
Does that?
I'm looking at.
That.
Yeah, I know, but that's a mistake. I'm looking at the spell Witch Bolt, and it doesn't actually add your your damage bonuses to it.
That's...
Yeah, just check out Witch Bolt in between the turns. But yeah, it actually does not add damage bonus. So it's still a massive amount of damage, which is 10 plus 12 plus 4, so 26.
That's the hit. That's the hit, not to...
Yeah, that's not damage.
Yeah, that's not damage. That's the hit.
Oh, that's why I was confused. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. 10 plus... Oh! Sorry about that.
That plus 7 is to hit.
Everybody makes mistakes. All right, so it's 17 damage then, because it's the 2d12 plus 12 plus 4 plus 1. All right, great. My apologies for my confusion. We were both correct. So 17 points of damage as the lightning elemental courses out and the lightning crashes into the creature. And it zaps. Lorquin, you...
Witch Bolt as well, so...
You, within the creature's hands, you feel like a slight sting of static just kind of coursing off of the creature's kind of conductive metal body, but it doesn't actually affect you. Damage-wise, as that's going to bring us... next, actually, no, that's just a bonus action, so you still have your extra action. What do you want to do for the rest of your turn? You're also going to cast Witch Bolt?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll me that attack then.
They kind of already did.
Okay. Well, then unfortunately that misses. As the Witch Bolt flies out, your own Witch Bolt is not able to connect, but you have one that is now locked in. And the elemental seems to really like it once it's kind of gotten locked on. And it seems to be pushing more and more. You think that even without controlling it, there's a possibility it might just want to keep lightning bolting this thing. That is... in that case, all for your turn, which brings us to, which is going to bring us to foe turn. And since he's going to kind of, with his right hand, he is currently... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yes, it is Lorquin. I'm all confused now.
Well, first, can I try and break out of this grapple?
Yeah.
First?
If you want to, it would take an action to try and break the grapple. You can make an athletics check if you would like, or an acrobatics, whatever you're better at. Contested by the creature's own.
Go with the athletics check.
Or it's actually just a flat D. Yeah, you break out. It's just a flat D. No problem. You just kind of peel back a couple of the metal fingers, drop down to the ground next to the creature. You still have a bonus action to move, or anything you want to do from here?
No, I'm just going to sit here. Hopefully it just doesn't see me.
In that case, you watch as the creature kind of takes both hands, places them upon the axe, and then is then going to swing down towards you. Actually, the two people there's 3 people in range right now. So what it's actually going to do is, you see he kind of kneels down, and then the axe kind of goes out to the side, and his midsection just starts to rotate. And in one very quick motion, the axe swings around in a circle. I would like everyone but Ideal to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Solid.
Oh god. All of you suffer the full brunt of... Where's my... Oh, because I'm on the wrong thing. Okay. 12... not too bad. 12 points of slashing damage as the axe swings around in a circle. But you all take that. It is not an attack, it's a saving throw. I just had it as an attack, so I can roll the damage quick. That is all for the Lumberjack's turn, actually. So that is going to bring us next to Euchaunkas, I believe it was next, yes?
Yes.
All right, what's the play?
I'm gonna disengage and get back.
Good start.
40 feet away.
Can you move that far?
I thought I was only 10 feet. I thought I was already 10 feet from him.
Nah, he moved up in melee of you.
Oh. Then I move as far away as I can. Just
all right, you move out 30 feet. Yep.
And I'm gonna throw down a 3rd level healing word every time.
On you?
On me.
Good move, good move. All
Actually,
right.
do I have healing potions? Oh, that's probably an action.
That's a bonus action if you want to drink a healing potion.
Wait, it's a bonus action for a healing potion?
To drink one yourself. To feed someone to someone else, it is an action. Which isn't raw, but that's what we do.
I don't even know if I have
Oh, I
any.
wish I would have known that.
All right, pretty good roll. Damn, nice rolls. You heal for 15 points as you speak your word of healing, calling on the cloud's energy. A little mist appears around the wounds as they disappear. That is going to be all for your turn then?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, no, that's all my turn. Yep.
All right, in that case, Nijel.
Nijel gonna swing that thing.
Both hit. A.
You know what's going on with ya boy. So I will put a normal smite on the normal and a 2nd smite on that crit.
I suspected.
And,
let me know once all the damage is figured out. Just give me the total.
assuming spiritual weapon whiffs
That
again.
misses, unfortunately. Yeah. Was it 42 that I counted?
That's what I got.
That sounds right.
All right. Very good. So yeah, you swing your scythe in, and then there's just this explosion of radiant energy, and he looks actually starting to look pretty dented and bruised in a lot of places. That attack definitely did a number on him. Anything else on your turn?
That will do it.
Ideal. Are you going to command your elemental?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and make me a check. It's a 12 that fails, but
Yeah,
let's see.
I don't know why it switched over to advantage for some reason.
It actually decides to continue to attack the. It actually decides to continue to attack the creature anyway. It seems to, like I said, it seems like it's really just kind of enjoying being able to channel. So just go ahead and roll damage on that for me.
All right, on which bolt?
Yeah, just 3d12. 22. Oof, nice. The last one was rough, but the 9 and the 11 were not. So the lightning continues to course into him. He's kind of like shaking and moving his body on the inside. You hear a lot of kind of like small screams from within him of all like the little robots that are inside of his body. You still have an action. What would you like to do?
You know what? I'm going to attack with Vicious Mockery.
All right. He's gonna make a wisdom save.
Yep.
He's just rolling well. It's just an 18-year-old. What insult? What did you try to insult the lumberjack with?
You would bore the legs off a village idiot.
And he goes, "No, I would more likely cut the legs off of a village idiot." Classic Skinner burgers. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right, that is going to bring us to Lorquin. Lorquin, what would you wish to do?
I'm going to action surge and fighting spirit to attack 4 times with my katana with advantage. Because this thing is really annoying me.
Hit. Actually, that misses. And hit, for sure.
So that's 1, 2, and 3.
So that's
the 10, the 12, and the 8, and 7.
37. Oh my god, you guys.
And I'm also going to use my other bonus action to drink a potion of greater healing.
All right.
44 plus 4, I believe it is.
Yep, that's correct.
4d4 plus 4.
The lumberjerk kind of rears back and takes the axe overhand and is just going to make, after that kind of fearsome round of blows, he looks down towards you, Lorquin, and is going to make 2 axe attacks against you. 13.
It misses.
And a 12.
Also misses.
Oh, rough rolls. You also watch as some of those... you watch as a bunch of those kind of robots inside his body at this point. A lot of them kind of all of a sudden jump out, and they have like little panels of metal and stuff. And with kind of quick motions, you just hear like a and some of the places on his body that have been beaten up, new kind of patches that look like they're colored, painted to look flannel, appear in different points out of the inside of his body and are placed onto him. And it seems he has self-repaired himself a little bit from these little guys. One of a couple of them that are at the top, because I think only 2 of them can do this at a time, because of the space. There's kind of like, a couple of holes in his neck, and 2 of these guys kind of come out and throw like tiny little javelins at you, Euchaunkas.
What the?
Oh damn! They only have a +2 to hit. They only have a tough +2 to hit.
Aren't they at disadvantage?
Why?
Isn't the javelin's range 20-60?
Oh,
31-20.
No, it's 31-20.
Damn it.
But that's a good call. I forgot about that. But
ow.
Yeah, you take 10 points of piercing damage. I didn't think those would hit. And that's all for his turn. And those guys duck back inside the body after they do that.
Okay.
That brings us now to you, Euchaunkas.
I walk 30 more feet away.
Okay, yeah.
Little robots. And how big is he? Huge, large? What's his size category?
Huge. He's huge.
Okay. Regardless, I'm gonna call lightning.
Okay. Is that single target or AoE?
It's a 10-foot radius from a spot, or a 5-foot radius from a spot.
If it's a 5-foot, you can avoid. If it's a 5-foot, you can avoid hitting anyone. But if it's a 10-foot, you're probably gonna have to hit somebody.
If I just put it behind him, wouldn't it just hit him?
Oh
No,
yeah.
him.
You can just
10-foot radius.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. So yeah, he fails. He takes 15 points of lightning damage. Crash.
Sorry, 5-foot radius. I was wrong. Didn't matter.
Yeah, well then it's
he fails.
you can just put it at the center of his body.
Yeah, I use my channel divinity. 30 damage.
Oh damn! All right, so good, so powerful. All right, yeah, he takes another huge chunk of damage, but he's in slightly better shape than he was because of those things inside of him repairing him. But yeah, the lightning, the great big cloud appears manifest to aid you, as he can only answer to the high priest.
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope.
Need you anything else? Yeah. That's going to bring us to Nijel.
Oh no, you little bastards, this is going down. And Nijel is going to begin tearing off all of these new little plates, carving beautifully. Oh wow, or not.
Unfortunately, both of those miss.
Good God, that
those are all just barely miss.
you know what?
Consistency.
I will hit once here.
Fair enough. I assume with the scythe, go ahead and roll damage on that.
And I will smite that.
First level smite. All right, oof, nice smite. Another 24 damage. Oof, it's starting to rack up the numbers. Cool. What? That's going to bring us top of the initiative. Ideal. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna cast Hexoid's Curse on this lumberjack.
Is that a bonus action?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, you do so.
And then I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to run up and attack him with my spear dagger.
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead and make me an attack roll. Ideal for the first. Oh, damn! Hits! Roll damage. Oh!
Oh!
Jesus.
And I get.
Yeah,
and I had a bonus to damage.
Yeah, you get the hex too.
Yeah.
As you kind of hit him, he goes, "Ho ho! I admire the symmetry of that weapon." So yeah, you do the extra d6, but nice square dagger hit. Also, your dumb lightning elemental, I rolled for him, and he continues to pummel him with electricity, despite not being commanded to do so. And yeah, the damage auto hits for another. Oof, that was another good round. You guys are crushing this dude. 22 and 38 total. Excellent. That all for your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Lorquin, what's it going to be?
I'm going to activate my fighting spirit again, just to give me the advantage, and
right.
2 attacks with the katana.
Do it up. Both hit. For another 18. Oof. All right. Anything else on your turn as you slash twice with the katana, 2 more wounds. He's looking, once again, he's like looking real beat up. He was looking more beat up than he was the first time I said he was looking beat up.
No, I can't do anything else, unfortunately.
All right, that's going to bring us to his turn. Ideal, since you are now within range, he's going to take a swing down at you with his axe. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
You take 31
Ouch.
points of slashing damage. Are you still up?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to swing down at you with the axe again for another 31 points of slashing damage. Okay. Ideal falls. And you watch as
That is not ideal.
Yeah, I definitely.
I'm surprised I've never heard that before.
Imposter.
And then out of the top of his shoulders, 2 of those little guys come up and they're going to throw javelins at you, Lorquin.
Both miss.
A 4 and a 9, yeah.
Oh, sure.
And then out of one of his...
Slight question, the Vimraz shield I've got equipped, would that not thing like damage to those little guys? Or
can you remind me what it does again?
Oh no, never mind. It's if they hit me with an unarmed strike or a natural weapon, they take damage.
Okay. And you actually watch now out of the kind of midsection of this creature, another one of these guys comes out, but it looks a little bit different than the little circular ones that have been kind of running around. They got little tiny legs. This one is shaped almost like a star, and he looks out at the you, Lorquin, and Nijel. I would like both of you to make me a Constitution save.
What save, sorry? Constitution.
A Constitution save.
Oh, crap, that would be the 20. Accidentally.
Both of you are actually fine. As this kind of it shoots out this gas out of the kind of inside of the creature, and goes to. It seems for a moment you feel your body, Nijel, you who are kind of close, you breathe a little bit of it, and you feel your body kind of lock up, but you exhale it quickly before it can settle into your system.
Whew, he stinks.
And then also you watch as some more drones run out and repair some more of his body. with each one of these repairs, his frame is looking more kind of slapdash and just kind of stupid. He's just becoming kind of like bulky and awkward rather than a pretty good simulacrum of a giant lumberjack that he was when he started. That brings us to the top of the initiative. Ideal, your ring of creating dumb elementals. The elemental is still up.
Isn't it my turn?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot about the thing. I just thought he was last. I'm all over the place. I'm tired. Euchaunkas.
Call lightning. Because I can.
Okay. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll do another 30 damage.
Oh, you can do that again? No, I thought that was once.
Yeah, no, I'm at the point where I can do it twice.
Oh, monster. Yeah. All right.
And then I'll be like, hey, Ideal, get up. Once I remember to hit it on this page. There we go. Get up.
All right.
Ideal, you get up. That's going to...
It's Nijel?
Yep.
Okay.
Nijel will keep tearing this guy apart. Or trying. Let's see how this goes.
You maintain the... There you go.
There we go.
Oh, hey! There he is. There he is. Oof. Oof. You guys do so much damage.
Finally getting a max damage on my scythe. Feels good, man.
Indeed it does. Anything else?
Oh,
You gotta smite?
yes. I will smite on both of those. Let's just fill this out.
Oh, okay. 17, 32, Jesus Christ, 44. All right. He is on death's door. As it passes to Ideal, it is your turn. What do you wish to do?
Well, yeah, I'm going to try Vicious Mockery again.
All right. He's just rolling really good on this. You're just not hitting the right chords, it seems. You're throwing out great insults, but it just doesn't seem to quite resonate with him. The robotic mind does not quite pick up your insults. Are you going to command the thing?
I'm going to move away while I'm assuming the Witch Bolt Elemental continues to attack me.
Are you going to command it?
No, I'm not gonna try to command it.
All right.
I'm gonna let it do its own thing.
Yep, it continues to attack the big guy. So go ahead and roll damage on that. And you said you're moving away?
Yeah.
All right, that is going to provoke an opportunity attack. So that's another. It's so close. That is another big chunk of damage, and he's going to swing his axe at you for another 28 slashing damage as you step away.
And now I'm down again.
And the revolving door continues. But you did a lot of damage in that 1 second you were up.
6.
And that is going to bring us to your turn, Lorquin.
So close to death, I think I heard you say. In that case, I'm just going to activate my fighting spirit for the third and final time that I can, and 2 advantage attacks with the katana again.
Oh! Roll damage. See what you got. 12. Oh, Jesus, those rolls. Those perfect. That is a 7 and 2 8s. You actually just barely finish him off. Would you care to describe your killing blow on the lumberjerk?
I would like to imagine that I would just jump up and cleave his head off.
Yeah, you all watch as Lorquin kind of almost scaling the body. The lumberjerk's kind of fallen over onto a knee as some of the little things within inside are trying to still repair him. And Lorquin just jumps, steps off the knee, and in midair, katana raised overhead, comes down with 2 hands and just slashes straight down. There's actually no effect on the lumberjerk. He's just kind of sitting there, totally fine, as Lorquin kind of sheathes his sword, and then you watch as a couple seconds later, the two halves of him just split and fall over. And as they crash to the ground, they just kind of disintegrate. And within, just like a swarm of these tiny little circle modrons hop out and just start scrambling around and running all over the place. And run away if you guys can kill them if you want to.
I strike them with lightning.
Nijel runs around like a bad man.
I'm just going to sit up here and snipe them all with crossbow bolts.
Yeah, as they're running away, like there's one that's like really far in the distance. It's just, I mean, it's lightning strikes. It's chaos elemental. You get ideal back up, and you eventually work your way back to the. Lumberling village, where the lumberlings all rejoice at your return at having defeated the evil machine, and one of the lumberling that you've spent the most quality time with comes up to you and says, "Great work, you guys. I'm so proud of you." And he kind of smiles, this big, slow smile.
Good.
And you earn 200 Bartholomew bucks, and you all gain an experience point, and you have completed this adventure. The lumberlings celebrate. You are invited to attend if you so wish, and I think that's going to do it.